And if you took a look at that thumbnail and thought, what in the hell is she doing? The answer is, I have no idea. So I'm doing a tag video today, and it's called the Ruthless Fragrances tag. And oh my God, so much static. So this tag, you know, it's supposed to be about these ruthless fragrances. So I was trying to embody an ice queen, which coincidentally is what most of my ex-boyfriends call me. I think I mostly just look ridiculous. So there's that. Anyway, let's do this tag. So the Ruthless Fragrance tag was created by Ruth from Ruth's Gifted Hands. She's fabulous. Definitely check her out. I'll link her channel down below. And this is basically, I think, the reloaded round it's called. So there was one round of tags earlier this year, and now kind of some people are coming around to the second round. And I missed the first one. I've been tagged by so many people for so many things that I really want to do. And it's just a matter of working that in with everything else that I want to put up. So you're seeing a couple tag videos this week, and hopefully I can get to some more that I have on my list, because I have at least 3 or 4 other ones that have been tagged and I need to do. But I love tag videos. I think they're great. I'm taking forever to get to them, and I'm so sorry. So the idea of ruthless fragrances are ones that are, you know, super loud, potentially could offend somebody. They kind of just, you know, they put you out there and you don't really care. Like, you're like, hey, you know what? I'm doing this, and if you don't like it, too bad. So I have 5 fragrances here that I picked out that I think fall into that category. Honestly, if you know me, you know that I don't tend to go for uber loud fragrances as a whole. So I didn't have a lot to pick from, to be honest, because most of mine are not super quiet either, but they're just kind of in the middle. But I do have 5 here that I think could potentially offend somebody because they are, you know, loud or different in some way that maybe not everybody's going to appreciate. I decided to rank these as well. So the first one I'm going to show you is the one that I think is least likely to offend someone, although it might, because it is very powerful. And then the top position will go to the one that I think is most likely to offend someone, although I'll be honest, I know a lot of people love that one and I love it as well, but there are also a lot of people who hate it. So anyway, let's go ahead and start with the first one. This is from Amwaj, and it is Lyric Woman. This was created by Daniel, I think it's Morel, and this is a beautiful incensey kind of rose fragrance. It has some sandalwood as well as some cardamom and cinnamon in here, but honestly, this just overall is this deep, dark, kind of loud, not super loud, but kind of loud, sexy, spicy fragrance. So if you like a deep, rich, rose, incensey, spicy fragrance, this is definitely one to check out. I do think this is unisex, even though it says Amwaj, or I mean, even though it says Lyric Woman, there's also a Lyric Man, but I honestly think a lot of guys could pull this off as well. So that's the first one. It is Lyric Woman from Amwaj. Next up is one from Guerlain, and this is Shalimar Eau de Parfum. This was created by Jacques Guerlain, and for this video, I very specifically mean the EDP. So I'm not talking about the EDT, I'm not talking about any of the flankers, I'm talking about the Eau de Parfum. The reason why I've chosen this concentration for the Ruthless Fragrance tag is because I think this one is the most challenging for people, because I think even the EDT has some civet in it, but this one features the note of civet, so you know, it kind of smells like cat pee to some people. It doesn't really smell like that to me, although I get the animalic vibe to it. It's definitely this very vanillic, balsamic, somewhat citrusy kind of fragrance. There are some spices in here. There's definitely a little bit of a floral note to it, but yeah, I think that civet makes it very challenging for some people. The EDT is much more approachable. So if you were interested in trying a Shalimar and you haven't yet, I would say go with the EDT. I really love the EDT, but there is something just quite spectacular about the original sort of Eau de Parfum intense kind of, I mean, it's not called intense, but you know what I mean? It's like a more intense version of it. So it's not like super loud. It does project some, but the main thing is that I think with those balsamic notes and the civet especially, I think even though it is, to me, a very vanillic kind of fragrance, I think it could put a lot of people off. My next pick comes from Tom Ford, and it is Ombre Leather, which is definitely a very well-known leather fragrance. This was created by Sonia Constant, and from this I get like all of the leather. Like if you took all of the leather ingredients that you could possibly imagine and put it in here, that's what I get from Ombre Leather. Now there's also a little bit of saffron, I think maybe some cardamom. I'm pretty sure there's supposed to be like some sort of, maybe it's jasmine, some sort of floral in here as well, and maybe a little bit of an amber kind of accord. But I mean, this is like just straight up leather. I think that it's a great leather fragrance and I enjoy wearing it, but it is strong. I can smell it on me all day long. And I don't put on that much when I wear this because it is strong. And I think, you know, I think on a lot of men, people would find this very attractive, but I think it is unexpected. In some cases, especially maybe if you're in an area like I am where fragrances aren't that common or talked about. I think it's very unexpected for a woman to smell this strongly of leather. And so I think that might put some people off. I don't care. I wear it anyway. Obviously that's kind of why these are Ruthless fragrances. It's like, you know, some people might not like it, but I don't care. I think the scent itself, most people would like if they like leather, but I just think on me or on a woman where I live, some people might kind of give me a second glance. And you know what? That's okay. I don't care. All right, in the second place spot, I have one from Lush, and this is Rose Jam. Now, the reason why I put this here is because this is loud. It is one of the loudest, most projecting, in-your-face fragrances that I own. It's not an overly complicated fragrance, but people are going to smell you. So I'm not sure who created this. I couldn't find it listed. Maybe it was Simon Constantine when he was still there, or perhaps it was someone else. Either way, Rose Jam, I mean, the name kind of tells you what it smells like. It is a very jammy rose. And then I think there's a bit of geranium and lemon in here as well, but it's mostly just the super loud, concentrated, jammy rose. I really like this fragrance. I also like the shower gel in this scent. Probably the body spray would be great as well. Maybe the body spray would be the better option because I would imagine it's probably still strong, but maybe not quite as strong as the perfume. But yeah, so this one is going to get you noticed because it's just so intense and loud. And if people don't like rose, they're not going to enjoy this. Now, if you are a rose lover, you won't have any problem with this, but I'm sure there's some people out there that will smell you from a distance and not like it. So that one is Rose Jam. All right, last up is a fragrance that I love. I know a lot of other people in Fragcom love this. I think it's fantastic, but I also know that there are people who very much dislike this. It's incredibly strong. It's very unique. It comes from Gallagher Fragrances, and this is Rosé All Day. So Rosé All Day is, well, it tells you right on the label, it's supposed to have this apple crisp accord with some plum, brown sugar, tonka, and stainless steel. Now, I also pick up maybe, it's probably the apple crisp, but maybe like some vanilla, some honey kind of thing going on. I think there could even be a touch of, maybe a touch of patchouli in here, but I do definitely get that stainless steel note, and that's the note that I think might put people off from this, or why sometimes people don't like this. It definitely does have this metallic vibe about it, but it also smells very much like a delicious, you know, sugary, sweet apple crisp. I think this is a fantastic fragrance. I think it, like I said, it's very unique. I think it's very well done, but it is potent. Like when I spray this in this room here where I film my office, you'll smell it, and like the next day I'll come in and I can still smell it lingering in the air. So definitely a very, very intense, strong, in-your-face fragrance. It's a love or hate, I think, for most people because it is so intense and quite unique. So this is one that probably will draw compliments, but also will probably draw some side eyes. You know, they're like, oh, what is she wearing? Or he wearing, right? So yeah, that's Rosé All Day from Gallagher Fragrances. Personally love it. I also love Wicked Good from this house. And Behold, Patchouli. I love that one too. I don't have a bottle of that one, but I do these other two. So if you haven't checked out Gallagher, definitely do, and get yourself a sample of this one. Not a safe blind buy in my opinion, but there's a good chance you'll love it too. All right, so those are my knockdown, drag out, Ruthless fragrances that I have chosen for this tag video. Thanks so much to Ruth for tagging me. Again, I'm sorry it took me so long to get around to this, but I really enjoyed doing this tag. I'm not gonna tag anyone because it has kind of gone around to most people at this point. However, if you also haven't had time to do this tag yet, I tag you, whoever you are. If you want to do it, definitely go for it. Love to see the fragrances that you think could potentially be offensive to people for one reason or another, even though you personally love them. Also, if you're watching, let me know in the comments ones that maybe you own that you think sometimes people don't particularly enjoy you wearing, but you just don't care, you wear it anyway. I'd love to hear that. Sometimes I hear people say like, oh, my husband hates this, but I just don't care, or oh, my wife hates this, and I just don't care, or whatever it is, right? So let me know which ones sometimes you think offend other people, but you wear it anyway. I'd love to hear those. I think it's great to embrace like our own tastes and uniqueness and just decide that, you know what, we're not not in it for compliments. I mean, is it nice to get a compliment? Yeah, sure it is. It's nice to get a compliment, but I think it's also great when you wear what makes you happy and you don't care what anybody else thinks. And maybe it's easier for me to say that as, you know, in my late 30s, someone who's lived long enough that I kind of quit caring what a lot of people think. But it's really comforting to be in that space where you're just kind of like, you know what, that's okay. You don't like it, that's fine. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If so, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing if you haven't already. Don't forget to hit that notification bell. Also, I've had some giveaways going on. I think I might still have one open by the time this video goes up, so definitely check back and watch those as well and enter if you haven't already. But thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!